Hi, thank you for joining me today on Flippin' Hippo's YouTube channel. I'm Star, and today we're going to be doing a what sold video. However, the what sold videos in 2026 are going to be very different than anything I've ever done in the past. If you're new here or you need a reminder, I used to do what sold videos every Monday on just my eBay sales, and then I would do a wrap up each month for the other platforms, and then one specifically for jeans and one for plush. I'm going to shake it up this year and do something a little bit different. I'm still going to do a what sold video every Monday, but it's going to be a highlight reel, and it's going to be from all of the platforms. I'm not going to show you every single sale like I used to, because let's face it, I'm a volume-based business who buys all my items for $1 from the same sources over and over again. So a lot of the items that I sell are the same over and over again. And I was kind of running into that issue last year where I felt like I was just repeating myself every week. I sold more American Eagle jeans. I sold more Gap jeans. I sold more Torrid and Lane Bryant shirts. Oh, look, more plush, more bread and butter plush. It's like the same things over and over because that's the nature of my business model. So instead of showing you the same things over and over, since this is supposed to be a teaching channel and I'm supposed to be allowing you to learn when you watch my videos and have fun while we're at it, we're just going to switch to solely highlight reel. Now, a highlight reel for me, as defined for myself, is not just my high-priced, once-in-a-lifetime find items that you're never going to see. Those will be included, but I will include highlights of new to me brands or new to me style or new to me item or something I haven't really talked into the ground before that I want to reiterate to you as a good item to source for resale. So it will be highlights, the best sales, but highlights as in I want to highlight these items to show you and where they sold. I am selling on 6 platforms these days: eBay, Poshmark, Etsy, Mercari, Whatnot, and Depop. So this just seemed like a really succinct way to show you the best of the best from all the platforms and teach you a little bit along the way. So let's get into it. Are we going to miss me yelling, "What sold on eBay?" every week? Maybe I can just say, "What sold on HIPPO?" I got one highlight from eBay. That's it. Just one. eBay is where I really sell the bulk of my bread and butter volume items over and over. So there's not going to be too many things there that are going to be a highlight. But I want to show you this Britt and Bree tie-dye t-shirt dress. I am selling dresses now. Surprise! And a lot more shirts, a lot less jeans. You'll see as we go through the year that I've kind of changed how I do things. But this is a dress. This is a t-shirt dress. Britt and Bree is a good bread and butter brand. Any dresses like this, I think, are good. They're cute. I sold this in the winter, but these are good summer dresses. And this is what the tag looks like. Britt and Bree. So I have a couple highlights from Poshmark. Yes, you know I sell Madewell. It is one of my go-to brands. I don't find it in the wild too often. Typically, I find it in thread-up boxes. And on eBay, they will still sell for about $30 to $35. I take an offer of $20 on Poshmark because they're paying the shipping. This dress is so stinking cute. I had to show you that, yes, I am excited that I'm moving into different ventures this year in different categories, and I've been working on that for the last end of 2025 as well. I'm really digging dresses, guys, and I'm really digging plus size tops. And I am using List Perfectly's AI to help me build my listings and learn different terms and styles and keywords. I'm not a girly girl. I live in graphic tees and pajamas. I have pajamas on the bottom, business up top, party down there. But I always live in jeans and pajamas. Nope. T-shirts and pajamas when I'm home. T-shirts and jeans when I go out. I don't know a lot about fashion. I don't know a lot about styles. When List Perfectly introduced their AI lister, it was the opportunity for me to grow. It was the opportunity for me to learn and expand my business beyond the very narrow perimeters I had set for myself and the little bit of knowledge I had. Now I can take a dress like this, the first time I've ever encountered it, run it through List Perfectly's AI, and it tells me it's cottagecore. I know that now. So now when I see these prairie looking dresses, I know to use prairie, boho, cottagecore. It's just another way to learn and expand myself. And I'm really enjoying all the new things that I've been doing. Anyway, these cute cottagecore prairie type dresses, bolo. You want to get them. Most will sell for bread and butter prices, but they sell very quickly. I just wanted to show you my little friend here. Vintage 90s bald eagle. He sold for $13, and he had seen some better days, but you know, he's got a little boo-boo on his wing. Yeah. Poor guy, but he did sell. So the next two highlights here on Poshmark are to show you that mall brands and bread and butter brands aren't always something to avoid. Based on what you're buying and the sizes, they can be good. They can be high-end bread and butter, and they can make you a good profit, especially if your cost of goods is $3 or less, say. Mine's $1, but I know not everyone has the 99-cent days at Goodwill, and they don't get the bulk buys that I get, but still $2 or $3 for this jacket into $34, especially on Poshmark where there's no returns and they're paying the shipping. That's fantastic return on investment. This is Forever 21. I don't source Forever 21 jeans if I can help it. And I say if I can help it because I do buy a lot of wholesale. But when I'm choosing what I'm buying off of the rack at the thrift, I avoid this brand typically. But this is a men's hooded utility jacket, a size large. It's almost like the brand doesn't matter and you're going to charge based on what the item is. That goes for a lot of jackets, coats, denim jackets, denim shorts. You all might talk about that. Overalls, big shirts, plus size items, shirts with graphics. There are a lot of times when brand doesn't matter and it's style based or looks based, and the brand just really doesn't factor in. So keep that in mind when you're sourcing. Don't be brand blinded and pass up on a jacket that you can get $34 for because it's Forever 21 or because it's Catherine's. This is a woman's hooded lightweight jacket. It's a plus size 3X and it sold for $36. So just keep that in mind. I just got a couple from Etsy here. This is a handmade. I'm going to see if I can pull up the original listing. The back of it is just like a piece of felt. I really need a drink of water. And the front is this honkin' crystal and all these different beads and like crystals or rhinestones, I'm going to call them. All just glued on there, and it's fancy, and it sold for $24. Then we have this Hallmark keepsake. I can say that word. Hallmark keepsake ornament. It is the Statue of Liberty. It did sell for $20. That's pretty good for a Hallmark ornament these days. I got a pack of 5 for $15, and they all sold from $20 to $30 individually on Etsy. So I really made my money back on this. And I wanted to point out that on Etsy, the international buyers are wild and they will buy a lot of things for money and then pay a lot of money for shipping additionally to get it. Disney, anything American, anything popular like that. So don't look at Etsy as not a viable place to sell your vintage, and don't overthink what's vintage. This Hallmark is vintage. People think vintage and they think clothing. You can sell remote controls on here. If they're from the 90s to a VCR, they're vintage. You can sell ornaments, clothes, yes, plush, jewelry, and you can sell it internationally very easy. It's as easy as eBay's international program. And a lot of international buyers want what we're selling. I sell a lot of my items. Actually, I sell more internationally on Etsy than I do eBay. And this buyer paid $26 for shipping. So they paid $20 for the ornament and $26 for shipping. And it went to Germany. And a couple months ago, I had a Coca-Cola Panda Bear that sold to, I can't remember the country, but the Panda Bear was $12 and she paid $20 for shipping. So don't overlook Etsy. Look at your items. Rethink outside of the box. Vintage isn't just clothes. And keep in mind that Etsy's international sales are really easy to do. That said, I wanted to show you a couple bundles I sold on Mercari. I sell a lot of items on Mercari that are low-end bread and butter, volume items, just like eBay. Those two platforms are kind of where I sell the most mid to low-end bread and butter items, just volume. And then I would say Posh and Etsy's where, you know, you're selling the more unique, expensive items. Or I am, not you, I am. But every once in a while, I get these really great bundles on Mercari, and I love it. This person bought 2 pairs of earrings. Nope, they bought 1 pair of earrings. Oh boy, 1 pairs. I'm not editing this. They bought a pair of earrings and a locket pendant. They didn't have the chain, it was just the pendant. And they spent $30. And this person bought 5 necklaces and a scrub top, which I thought was kind of 5 necklaces and a scrub top. That's kind of wild, but maybe she needed a shirt for work and then necklaces to wear after work. $62 for the bundle. So, you know, I think you may remember, most of you, about a year ago, late 2024, I did stop selling on Mercari. I gave up on the platform and I walked away from it. I already had something like 5,000 listings. I had already put the work in. I left those up, obviously, because a sale is a sale and money is money. And if I've already put the work in, I'm leaving the listings. But I didn't actively list new items. And then they fixed the situation with the fees and the buyer, all that stuff that was going on. And so I tentatively dipped my toes back in throughout 2025 and I started making sales again. I think the downfall for Mercari in 2024 was when they were charging buyers fees, but it feels like it's kind of worked the kinks out now, and at least I do okay on it. Is it my best-selling platform? No, it's not my worst either. So money's money, and I like to get my fingers in as many pies as I can. Speaking of, I started selling on Depop in December, so this is still new. I just started selling on here about a month ago, and I sold a few items. I sold this gnome. He's a squishmallow for $10.62. Why did he go so cheap? Well, I'll tell you. I am actually trying to, I don't know, get out of plush altogether, but at least downsize the amount of plush I have. We cleared off one of our garage walls for more other types of inventory, and I'm just trying to downsize. So all of my plush that was like from 23 and older, I put on Whatnot static listings, not the live shows, but they actually have like a shop or a closet that you could put static in. I put all my plush on Depop and Whatnot half off of what I wanted on eBay, because those seem to be the platforms where people expect lower prices. And I am moving a lot of plush that way and just kind of clearing things out. So the elf, he's a gnome. He's not an elf, he's a gnome. Squishmallow. This was a bundle, and I was really excited about this because I had just listed it, and it sold within 2 days for $35 on Depop, which is a big deal because people expect low prices. But it's a top and a skirt, vintage, sequin, and those sold together to one buyer. And then I sold a vintage like sweatshirt, a vintage Lee, it's embroidered. And then I sold an Alfred Dunner sweater. Why do I have one of these? And why did it sell for $6? Well, I'm trying to clear this one out. This was one I got for free from Keith's grandma. And this was my first sale here, but I do sell Alfred Dunner all the time, and I sell sweatshirts like this one all the time. I don't mean this to be mean, but they're considered old lady sweaters, right? And I do really well with them. And considering my very first sale ever on Depop was an old lady sweater, don't overlook it. I think granny core is something, you know, these kids want to look old. I don't know, but granny core seems to be in with the Gen Zs. I'll just show you whatnot real quick, just going down. I've mostly been selling static listings over there. List Perfectly added Whatnot is one of their platforms you could cross post to. Sometime in the fall last year, I can't remember exactly when, and I started moving stuff over for static listings, and stuff started selling. And then I have, since Black Friday, been actively doing Whatnot live shows and selling in there as well. So overall, the outlook for this year looks pretty good. I've got my fingers in a lot of pies. I've got a whole bunch of inventory. If you watched my haul video from Friday, I really bought a lot of inventory going into the winter, and I have a lot of great items to get up. I've just got to be on the ball and stay really, really busy and keep myself to my routines this year because I've got a lot going on. But I'm pretty pleased with the platforms as they are. We had a really good Q4. How was your Q4? How's your Q1 shaping up? If you're a clothing seller, this is the time of year where we actually sell more. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about anything you saw, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps us feed a hungry hippo. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.